Hey everyone, so let's go over the major differences. This is probably not going to be every single difference between these two models, but the more major differences here between the iPad Pro M4 versus the iPad Air M2. So I have the Air is the 13-inch version, and my Pro is the 11-inch version. You can get either 11 or 13 inches on either the Pro or the Air. So either way, but the first major difference you will notice is going to be the price. So talking for the 11-inch versions of each of these, the Pro is going to be $1,000, whereas the Air is going to be only $600. So there's a $400 difference, at least here in the US. Then if you are talking about the 13-inch versions, the Air is going to be $800 versus $1,300 for the Pro. And again, these are just the starting prices, so they go up from there. So the Air is definitely going to be cheaper by about $400 to $500. So quite a bit cheaper. I mean, you can get the 13-inch Air for $200 less than the 11-inch Pro. All right, then let's get into some other differences here. So the Pro is going to give you the Pro Motion technology, so it gives you the better, faster frame rate over the Air, which does not give you that. It just gives you the basic frame rate. The displays are going to be a bit different. The Air has a liquid retina display, whereas the Pro gives you the Ultra Retina XDR display. So the Pro is going to be a nicer display. Now, would you notice that if they're not side by side? Probably not. Would you even notice that if they were side by side? Probably not. In Pro Motion, you might notice if you can tell the difference in frame rate, but otherwise the displays are both very, very nice. And then on top of that, the Pro also gives you the option, if you go up to a 1 terabyte or more version of the nano texture display glass, which again you have to get on the 1 terabyte version, which is a lot more money. Another bigger difference, or maybe one of the biggest differences, is going to be the Air gives you the M2 chip, whereas the Pro gives you the new M4 chip. So the Pro, of course, has a faster, better processor. So with the Pro, it is up to 10 cores, whereas the Air is up to 8 core for the CPU. Otherwise, the GPU are both going to be 10 cores, and they're both going to have a 16-core neural engine in them. Flipping them over here, you will see they do have difference in cameras. You only get one camera on the Air. You get multiple on the Pro. So they are, both can do 4K, both are 12 megapixel wide cameras, but the Pro will also give you the Pro Res. They both do have a front facing camera. Make sure I point the right spot here, about here and about here. So both of those do have a front facing camera. They are landscape 12 megapixel ultra wide front cameras. Both have center stage. Again, though, the Pro is a little bit better with true depth camera system. Both of these do now have USB Type-C. They did last generation as well, but they both do have USB Type-C. But the Pro also gives you support for Thunderbolt or USB 4, whereas the Air does not. The Air will give you fingerprint scanner on the top here. The Pro gives you Face ID. The Pro gives you 4 speakers or quad speakers, so there's one here, here, compared to the Air, which has one on either side, even though they make it look like it has 4. It has 4 cutoffs for speakers, but it's just one on top, one on the bottom. Wi-Fi, both of these will give you Wi-Fi 6E. You can get 5G cellular connection if you want to spend a bit more money and get that option. And of course, both of these do support Apple Pencil and the Apple Pencil Pro, as well as the Magic Keyboards. Far as capacity goes or storage, the Air starts out at 128 gigabytes compared to 256 gigabytes, so you are getting double the storage for more money that you are spending. The Air gives you 128, 256, 512, or 1 terabyte. The Pro starts out at 256, 512, 1 terabyte, or 2 terabytes. But again, it does cost you a decent amount more money. Kind of interesting thing is if you get the Pro version, it is actually a little bit of a skinnier device. If you are comparing 11-inch to 11-inch, 13-inch to 13-inch, With these two here, the 11 inch is actually a bit skinnier than the 13 inch on the Air as well. Again, is it really that noticeable? No, they're both very, very skinny devices. Going back to the display for a bit more here, again, the Air gives you the liquid retina display. The Pro will give you the ultra retina XDR display. So with the Air, you're getting LED backlit with IPS, whereas the Pro gives you tandem OLED. I'm not exactly sure what that one means, but it is, again, a nicer display. Again, personally, I don't notice the difference between them, even with them side by side, but you might, especially with the ProMotion that is on the Pro. Again, personally, I do not notice the difference. Top of that, the Air gets up to 600 nits of brightness. The Pro will give you up to 1,000. And then if you're doing HDR content, you can get up to even 1,600 nits of brightness. Something this will definitely get brighter. But if you're not somebody who brings your stuff outside, so if you don't have 5G, it probably won't matter. Both displays are going to be fully laminated, unlike, say, like on the iPad 9, that was not. They also have the fingerprint resistant coating on them, so they will resist your fingerprints. Of course, they will still show up though. They're both also anti-reflective, which is awesome. Again, Pro gives you the ProMotion technology with the faster frame rate. And then again, if you buy the 1 terabyte or 2 terabyte, you can also spend even more money and buy the nano texture display as well. Both give you wide color P3, true tone, and also the Apple Pencil hover if you buy yourself the extra Apple Pencil. Going back to the processors again, the Air will give you the M2 chip, which is the same processor that was in the previous generation Pros. That gives you 8-core CPU with 4 performance cores and 4 efficiency cores. It gives you 10-core GPU, 16-core neural engine, 100 gigabytes per second memory bandwidth, and then 8 gigabytes of RAM. Whereas the Pro, again, depending on which storage option you get, so if you get the 512 or lower, so 256 or 512, you'll get a 9-core CPU with 3 performance cores and 6 efficiency cores, a 10-core GPU. You will also get ray tracing, so that's actually really cool. You also get a 16-core neural engine, 120 gigabytes of memory bandwidth, and then 8 gigabytes of RAM. But now if you go and really spend a lot of money and get yourself the 1 terabyte or 2 terabyte option, you then get 10-core CPU with 4 performance, 6 efficiency, the same 10-core GPU, the ray tracing, 16-core neural, 120 gigabyte per second memory bandwidth, but then you also get 16 gigabytes of RAM, so you get double the RAM, which is insane, because even with 8 gigabytes of RAM, both of these things are very powerful. Battery wise, both of these, according to Apple, will give you up to 10 hours of surfing the web on Wi-Fi or watching videos, or 9 hours of searching the web using cellular, so 5G. Then again, you can charge them with the USB Type-C, which is quite nice, over the old Lightning adapter, which means they should also hopefully charge a bit faster. So with all that said, yes, you are definitely spending more money. I said, what, $400 or $500 or more for the Pro versions of the same size than you would on the Air. But with that said, having these for the last few days since they came out, bought them both the same day that they came out, both of these are excellent, and I don't think most people will really need the M4 over the M2. So personally, I would say, unless you need some crazy power, the M2 Air is more than enough. And especially, I mean, you can save $200 by buying the 13-inch over the 11-inch on the Pro, and then you also have a bigger display, and it's still a very, very nice iPad. But y'all, let me know what you think. Thank you all for watching. Hope you have a good one. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.